Good evening, all. Thank you for inviting me here. It's an honor to express and to tell you like what all has been my journey to make this film. They said like I need to say something inspiring and you need to be prepared. So I said like I can't be prepared for an inspiration. So I thought like I'll just say in a flow what all has happened. To start with, the idea of making a film itself is a very naive and a very raw idea. I mean, I feel like nobody thinks that I want to be a filmmaker. I think it comes from the idea of, let's do it this way or let's do it that way, I could probably write or imagine or visualize a better scene than this. That thought process starts from an early thought of you want to break into films. So this thought goes on for a very long time, and there is always a parallel thought process running in your head, wanting to be a filmmaker, and that becomes magnanimous one day, and you feel that you should make a film. So that's how I thought like I should no more be into physiotherapy and I should enter into films. So I went to Sydney to do my post-graduation in filmmaking, and after that I was there for a couple of years. Then I came back to Hyderabad. While I was in film school, what I noticed is everywhere there are students from all different parts of the world. There was exchange of culture, there is exchange of tribe, exchange of cinema, and there is much more creative happening surrounded by the students from all different parts of the country, parts of the world. So when I came back to Hyderabad after the course, like I didn't find much happening here in Hyderabad. I mean, I noticed there was a little thing in Bombay, but in Hyderabad I think there's nothing much in Hyderabad happening. So it will be like once you're out of the film school, you think like you go to Hyderabad, you meet a big stars, you narrate the story and things will fall in place, but that doesn't happen that way. Because entirely what you imagined and what it is in the real world is the same thing, what you write and what you execute onto the screen. So it's almost the same parallel thing. So after coming to the Hyderabad, seeing the reality, it was very tough, to even approach a producer or to even approach a star. Forget about approaching stars and producers. It's even tough for a film school graduate to go to a film set and work as an AD. There were a few filmmakers who were completely avoiding students who came from film school. God knows I don't know the reason, but so it took a while, and finally I worked for one film as an AD because I wanted to know what exactly undergoes in the process of making the film. I mean, we learned a lot of stuff in film school, but in the practical world, in Telugu film industry, the things are a little different. Just to understand like how it's happening. So it took 1 year of process for me to understand. And after that, I wrote a story. I got an office. I got a producer. That went for 1 year. I mean, this film name is Sugar Factory. We registered the title, spoke to the actors. In the last moment, the producer backed out. So it was a very depressing point where, because I wanted to meet another producer to narrate the story. So I came to know that the producer heard that this guy was having an office for 1 year and things didn't move. That means that there's nothing much to talk about the story. So people started ruling me out that way, thinking like, nothing happened in the 1 year process, having a producer and nothing happened. So these things will put you down. And at one point when you're watching Hollywood films, European films, and you even know, looking at the scenes, that you could write something better than that sometimes, or something equal to that or something. And still you can't do much about it because it's simple. I'll tell you. You go tell a story to a person. If he has money, if he believes your story, the same moment you are the director and he is the producer. It's as simple as that. If nobody believes you, it takes 7 years or 8 years. God knows what time. So 2 years went like that after the post sugar factory effect, and after that I had an health issue, and it went like 9 months, and I started writing this Arjun Reddy. I took a very sweet time to write the story because I'm a very lazy guy, and it took me 2 years for me to complete the story. And after that, I met Sherwa, and I was narrating him, and he was supposed to act, and there were few producers who were interested, but the actual problem started here because when you tell a story to a producer, when it's completely out of his belief system, he doesn't understand it. And him not understanding that is completely out of my belief system. You're getting what I'm trying to say? So it was like that. It was the clash of beliefs, and somebody's getting angry. How can a story be like that? How can a hero be like that? And how can, because somewhere we are used to a kind of cinema where hero should all do all good things. He can play basketball, and the next time he can handle AK-47. It's like that. There's nothing wrong in it. There's no need to laugh because we are used to that kind of cinema. I mean, a superhero genre, not a hero genre. So, so people are used to that kind of cinema. So, I mean, I don't think so. People believe. I mean, people in the sense, investors, financiers, producers, believe that the film is an art form. I don't think so. They believe it because they believe in a kind of cinema where they're making money. They're losing money and they're making money. So they don't want to think any other alternative. It's a human tendency. So there is nothing wrong in it, and we can't blame them for that because it's your artistic piece. You can't go and beg, say, why don't you understand my story? Why can't you put money on my film? You can't do that because you love your art, you love your baby so much that you can't ask somebody to gift something to my baby. It's like that. But people take it like an ego, like they think like this fellow came from nowhere and he wrote one story and he doesn't want to share another story and he doesn't want to change things, so things doesn't fall in place. So this process went on for a while. Few producers liked the story. They said like, you need to tone it down here and there, but I said like, it can't be like that because if it is like that, then it will be new. It will be the same again. There will be very few specific things in the film, you can't change it. If you change, I mean, I don't know how the output would be, but I didn't want to change. So this process went for a little while, and after that, it was almost a dark phase, not knowing what's happening in life. It's been like 6.5 years I came to Hyderabad from Sydney. Nothing is happening. And most of them lost hope. I mean, I got married at the time. I mean, I just got married 2.5 years back. And there was a time when my wife's cousins, relatives, my in-laws used to come on the weekdays. I used to just laze around in the sofa, sit in the hall, watch European films, English films. I don't know what they thought, because usually at this age group, you don't find men or boys sitting at home on the weekdays doing nothing. So this process went for 6 months. I mean, so finally, my brother and my father said, let's produce this. So that's how this journey went. I mean, like, then we found an office because after coming from the Sydney, I was located in a place called Amrita Valley. Wherever I saw in that place, the blocks were so interesting. It was like, you can frame it anywhere. You just pan the camera, you find an interesting frame. It was structurally built that way. So I was amazed looking at the structure. Then I thought like we should shoot something here. So I was there in that place for 1.5 years. So I know each and every corner of that place. So what I thought, when I want an office, I thought like, let's go and search in Amrita Valley. If I don't get there, then I'll shift to some Gachibowli or Madhapur, something like that. So finally I got there. Then we opened the office and things were falling in place. Slowly we started casting people, and I was very specific in terms of casting, and I was very specific in terms of locations because that's the reason I think you people are liking it. You people are saying that it's very real, it's very tangible, because that is the reason I feel. I mean, that is the hard work went on, because I did location recce for almost 4 months, 3 to 4 months. Each and every location was scouted well, including the wall colors, photographed so many locations. For print, we took printout of the photographs and we are seeing the contrast combination of the costumes. that kind of work was involved throughout from the beginning. So we opened the office, casting is done, things are going smooth, and one day we thought like, we have to start the shoot. And one of my friend visited my office and he says like, you can't make a film in this office. He says like, this Vastu is wrong. You are eating where you have to sleep and you are sleeping where you have to eat. I said like, this is office, nobody's going to sleep here. He said, but still, this structure has some parameters, you need to follow it or else your film is never going to release. I was thinking like, not only one, so many people who have a little knowledge about Vastu and who are little into this stuff. They said like this bad entry, bad Vastu, there's a lot of darkness in the room. Then I was thinking what to do, and the first day of the shoot came. I was still in that, there was somewhere the thought was lingering in my mind like, should I really want to change the office? But by then, we prepared some structure in the office where Arjun's room was prepared. The kitchen, the grill, that blue tiles and everything were decided and bought, sketched out and attached and pasted on the walls. So, first day of the shoot, it was morning 6 o'clock. I was walking inside the office. I thought like I'll be the first person on the set. I went into the office, or I opened the door and I see there was a cat with a red patch on the mouth, a white cat. We bought some pigeons in the office setup for the neighbors' pigeons there. You might have noticed in the film. There were actually 6 pairs, I think 4 pairs. The cat came and ate 6 pigeons, one shot. It's all blood. The face was completely in blood. And the cat, I opened the door, I saw the cat. It's my first shot. First day of the film, your Murat is done, everything. You want to shoot and you see this. And somewhere I have this scary feeling for cats. And I thought like this might be a bad omen, You never know, because this entire process of 6.5 years and before that going to Sydney and staying in Harvard, studying in Harvard, all this will add up, You as a personality, you are not just born in one day, right? The entire structure follows you. The same thing was falling on my head, thinking like, what's going on? And then I ran into the balcony and I saw that the pigeons were dead. So the entire mood was gone that day. I was not able to concentrate. The first day of the shoot. The second day of the shoot, there was huge rain. Third of the shoot, some guy forgot some, these days, it, right? We are shooting with these memory cards. There's no more stock. The cameraman assistant forgot the memory cards. And it's only one day shoot, the death scene. 90 minutes we were not doing anything in the set. So things like that, every day something will come, and in between there was another shoot. They took Vijay away and they tampered the beard, and we were waiting, doing nothing for 70 days to grow the beard. So everywhere problems were there. I was again thinking what that fellow said might be true. Maybe this film might not release. So these things were, these thoughts were coming, and what I felt is like a strong feeling of, accomplishing something. What you thought, what you dreamed. I think that was a driving force for me throughout this all stupid process, which I went through while making the film. And we shot in Mangalore. We were supposed to shoot for 5 days in Mangalore, but we only got, 14 days in Mangalore, 5 days in college, but we only got 2 days of permission in the college. So God knows how I managed and how we shot 5 days of schedules crisped into 2 days. The same thing with Mussoorie, because it was -7. And we went to Italy, and all the locations I did a recce, even Mussoorie, Dehradun, everything. But Italy I couldn't do a recce because it was out of the budget. I can't afford just me or DOP going there and doing a recce and coming back. So it was straight. We went to Italy and we were just shooting randomly. It's a pre-climax song and I have only 1 minute of the track. And I don't know the lensing, I don't know what. I just went with a gut feeling and a guesswork in few areas, especially in the songs. So all this happened. We released the teaser, and the teaser got huge response. And after that, it took a very long time for me to release the trailer. And once the trailer is done, once the business is done, the business was done without the distributors asking me like, what is the run time? They never asked me, and I never told them. The business was done, and it was we were supposed to release the film, and I was doing I was involved in the sound design work in Chennai, and I get calls from the distributors saying that your film length is too big. They say it's 3 hours 10 minutes, and the Bangalore guy doesn't want to buy your film. He said like he doesn't want to buy, and the seeded guys doesn't want to buy. They were ready to sell it for 40 lakhs. I said like, sir, like if he's not willing to buy, then you give it to me. I'm going to distribute it. So he felt, no, I'll try to find another buyer. Then I told him like, don't try to find another buyer. If you trust the film, just release it, because the distributor didn't see the film yet. And today, he went on and released on his own, the distributor. That guy refused the film for 40 lakhs. The collection in Bangalore is 1.1 crore 80 lakhs. So the gut feeling, like there are so many things like that happened, even in areas like I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm talking business or money, but that's so few things like went on with the gut feeling. So 3 days before of the release, these distributors want to see the film, and I was thinking, okay, I'll show them the film. If they say it's a bad film, if they say you have to cut down the length, anyways, I'm not going to do that. So I thought like, let's put them a show. They saw the film and they came out with a very big smiling faces. They said like, it's going to be a blockbuster. So that's how this entire journey happened. So now what I see is like, when I see it, the kind of response, the kind of overwhelming response I get from the crowd and from the filmmakers, from the distributors, from the producers. One thing what I strikingly think back and be happy about it is, throughout this process, live about the process before opening the office, from the day I started this script, there were so many hurdles coming in. Till then the office, opening the office and making the film. And now I feel, when I look back, I feel like I didn't give up on anything. I was like very adamant and very naive, and was thinking like, let's see what happens. I mean, to tell you, I forgot to tell you, when before open, like I was supposed to get 1.5 crores from outside guys. 1.5 crores was my investment, and 1 CR would be the publicity. I'm just saying. So right after opening the office, these all guys were supposed to put money on the project. They said like, dude, it's not happening. So I only have 1.5 crores. I don't know what to do. I didn't tell Vijay. I never told anybody, and we're supposed to shoot in the next month. And luckily, there was an ancestral property, like a 36 acres of mango gardens, which is coming from ages. That was sold out. My father and brother they sold it out for 1.6 crores, and they kept the entire money to the project. And when your property is sold and you're getting money from there, when you're doing with that kind of money, there is always a jittery feeling in your back, in your spine. You never know what happens. If something goes wrong, like you're gone. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes if I think back, like what made me to do this film, I really don't know. But now it worked. So right from the childhood till the last summer, I used to get mangoes from a farm, from my grandfather's farm, from my uncle's farm. When this was my father's farm. This is the first summer I didn't get mangoes. So I told myself like, I'm not, and trust me, I don't know the rate of the mango till date. I don't know how much they are sold in the market, because I used to get it free from the grandparents' place and from my farm. So I told to myself like, let's not eat mango. Till then you make your own money and buy a mango farm. Let's not eat mango. That's what I was telling to myself. I was thinking like, am I too filmy? Am I doing this, like a filmy hero promise to yourself while I was doing the film? But now I think like I can buy it back if I want. So that way I'm very happy. And whenever you tell a story to a producer, the producer wants to change something and he doesn't want to change it. The producer says like, Sandeep, you know what? You directors are like fathers, man. The script is like a baby to you, so you don't want to change. So you're so much attached to it, and you can't change it because you love it so much. So what I want to say is to put this in one statement, the entire thing in one statement. When I started the film, my wife was pregnant. When I was in Mangalore, she delivered a baby boy. I named him Arjun Reddy. So that's what cinema is to me.